packing away an old life full of hope for a new one.
When I get to Australia, I will celebrate there and let in my happiness.
In an Islamabad hotel room, women's rights activist Shafiqa Sadat remembers the terror she felt back in Kabul.
The Taliban said all the civil society workers, the women's activists, we have their pictures, and if we can identify them, then they will be killed.
Shafiqa and her grown daughters, along with their young families, tried desperately to reach the airport, but couldn't get through the violent crush. Then militants burnt down the houses of family members, and they decided to flee to Pakistan, braving Taliban checkpoints along the way.
It was very scary because when there was Taliban and you know who I am and where I go.
The family joined a larger group of Afghans also trying to reach the border, led by former British soldier Ben Slater, taking shelter at the crossing in an abandoned shop, curled up on the floor to sleep. While back in Australia, women's rights advocate Susan Hutchinson and other supporters of the family scored a crucial victory, convincing the federal government to grant them emergency visas.
It was incredibly stressful, and we at no point were we certain that they were going to be safe until they finally made it.
One night, local Taliban swept into the room and separated the family, rounding up the men.
We put our hands up in prayer, saying, God save us. Do not send us back to Afghanistan.
Eventually, the men were freed, the family reunited, and after 4 long days, they made it over the border.
We waited all day, and then God blessed us.
When they reached Islamabad, Australian officials found them accommodation, and for the first time in weeks, the fear subsided and they began to dream of life in Australia.
Today I'm very happy because I can go to Australia and I complete my dreams.
Eventually departing on an Australian military plane to Dubai and then a Qantas flight to Darwin, they're now in quarantine at Howard Springs. The family's journey shows that weeks after the last evacuation flights from Kabul left, it is still possible for Afghans holding Australian visas to escape the country. But the path is hazardous and uncertain. Stephen Jedgetts, ABC News, Canberra.